Thanks to Reverse1999 for sponsoring this video. Reverse1999 has just been launched for global, the game where time has been reversed in an event known as a storm featuring cool magic and wizardry and spellcasting. You've probably heard from the Gorillion advertisements that the game has superb English voice acting, but now that I've actually downloaded the game, my neurons have been activated. It's the standard gacha game progression. Download the game, open it, get hit with the billion tutorials that a 3-month-old infant could do. When I get hit with the early game tutorials, my brain kinda turns off and I mindlessly do whatever the game tells me to do and forget all the mechanics I'm supposed to be learning about. The tutorials in Reverse1999, while they do handhold you a bit, are more like a puzzle that you have to figure out, which is way better than the alternative of being a monkey testing the cognitive trade-off hypothesis. No, I did not lose multiple times in the section where the game tells you what to do. Why would you think that? I'm a man of gameplay, so this game has to pass a factor cap test of whether the turn-based combat is actually fun, and the results are in. It's quite nice. How you play the game is mainly dependent on the carries you have, so you guys already know it's gambling time to get new characters. The roster of characters features a lot of inanimate objects, which is pretty unique, but while there is a lot of promotion going around for these silly, quirky entities, the game has other character designs that are impressionable, to say the least. I will not elaborate further on this statement. I got Eternity as my beginner 6-star, and how she works is that all her cards make her deal damage to herself, except for her ultimate that deals a ton of damage and heals herself for half the damage she dealt. Eternity's abilities are fun to play around with. You'd expect her to be as fragile as wet toilet paper, instantly collapsing on the floor as soon as an enemy even touches her, but no, she's surprisingly the tankiest member on my team. It's one of the lower rarities that always dies first for some reason. Level your guys up, don't be me. Speaking of people dying, new player tip, for the later stages especially, you need a healer. Don't try to be a sociopath like me and play the game without one. Raise the apple, unless you have a better healer obviously. The issue isn't that the enemies instantly destroy you and GG's, restart bozo. Boss fights take more than 3 turns to complete, so you need to have some form of sustain, otherwise you're gonna be slowly melting the entire fight. I tried playing the game without a character that heals because I had gacha brain rot and slapped a bunch of high rarity Arcanus in a team, and that didn't turn out too well. Another small tip is if there's another wave after the one you're fighting, try killing the last enemy with the minimum amount of cards, since the attacks don't carry over to the next wave. If you have extra actions left over for that turn, you can use those to move cards around instead of trying to punch at ghosts and wasting incantations. It might seem obvious to some people, but it's a nice reminder to know. The game plays out like most turn-based RPGs, there's damage types, elements, and weaknesses. For the most part, you don't have to build your entire team around these mechanics, however, they can be used to make your life a lot easier. It's just interesting enough to be challenging, but not challenging enough to where you're pulling your hair out every fight unless you're B and refuse to raise the apple and you have no healing. Don't be me, learn from my mistakes. You have a good amount of freedom to mix and match characters. My ideal team right now is Eternity, Sotheby, and I don't know how to pronounce your name, sorry. This team will definitely change once I better understand the mechanics, but this is a life lesson. Goals can change, and that's okay. Because Sotheby's a healer, she can reduce the self-damage from Eternity while also debuffing the enemy with poison. But this girl is cracked as hell. Her debuffing power is insane, especially on her ultimate, which is sadly single target, but does a boatload of damage, making her great for bosses. She also does more damage to enemies that are debuffed, so there's some really nice damage interaction there. Eternity just deals a lot of damage single target and AoE, while coming with her own nasty wound effect, so B girl can get some scaling off of that too. Even though the gameplay allows 3 playable characters most of the time, 4 rarely, the team building and synergy between characters is definitely my favorite part about the game because I get to see how everyone interacts with each other and make the numbers grow bigger. Anyways, the game is out everywhere, iOS, Google Play, and they even have a fancy PC client. There's a link in the description for you to download the game and get up to 73 free summons, with your first 30 being a guaranteed 6-star. That's about it for this video, see ya.